Okay, so now I want you to open your workbook to page 76. Workbook page 76. Okay, so you'll see another survey titled, Who Owns Electronic Products? Okay, so the question is, which electronic products do you own? So we can see cell phone, digital camera, DVD player, laptop computer, and television. And then we can see two groups of readers. Percent of readers ages 18 through 29 and percent of readers ages 30 and over. Okay, so let's look at question number 1. Which question does this table answer? Okay, and you can see the answer is, which electronics are the most popular? Okay, so go ahead and take some time to do this page, and as we did for our students book, I want you to try to make sentence answers, complete sentence answers, okay? Okay, so number 2, how many groups of people does this table talk about? And the answer is 2, so we can say, this table talks about 2 groups of people. Okay, this table talks about 2 groups of people. Number 3, which product do 82% of readers ages 30 and over own? Okay, and the answer is a DVD player. So we can say 82% of readers ages 30 and over own a DVD player. And then number 4, what was the most popular product for both groups of people? So we can say a television was the most popular product for both groups of people. Okay, and then number 5, which product was more popular with older people than younger people? So we can say a television was more popular with older people than younger people. And then number 6, which statement is true? And the answer is more younger people have laptop computers. Okay, so let's add a follow-up question to number 6. So we know that more younger people have laptop computers. So let's take a look at the percentage. So we can see that 90% of the younger readers have a laptop computer. So I want you to make a question for the answer 90%. Okay, make a question. Okay, so you could say, what percent or what percentage of younger people own a laptop computer? What percent of younger people own, or you can say have, a laptop computer? And again, you can use the plural form. You can say laptop computers instead of a laptop computer. Okay, now let me ask another question. Which product does the least number of readers ages 30 and over own? Okay, so which product does the least number of older readers own? Okay, and the answer is a digital camera. But if you make a sentence, you can say the least number of readers ages 30 and over, or the least number of older readers own a digital camera. Okay, now I want you to make a different question with the same answer. The answer is a digital camera. But this time, ask a question about the biggest difference. So if you remember from our students book, on page 80, number 4, students book page 80, number 4, the question was, in which area is there the biggest difference in how seniors and other adults use the internet? So I want you to make a similar question. You can use that question to help you, but make a question, and the answer is a digital camera. Okay, so you could say, for which product is there the biggest difference between younger and older readers? Or you can say both groups. So, for which product is there the biggest difference between both groups? Or between younger and older readers? So, in this case, we use for which product, not in which product, because it wouldn't make sense to say in which product. We can say in which area, but we need to say for which product. Okay, now let's go back to our student's book on page 81. Student's book, page 81, grammar connections. Okay, so we are going to learn about using so and such. So let's watch the lesson.
Grammar connections. Unit 6, Lesson F. So and such. So and such make the meaning stronger. Use so before an adjective. Use such or such a before a noun. So plus adjective.
That clock is so small.
With optional that clause.
That clock is so small that it's hard to see the time.
So plus adjective.
Those cars are so cool.
With optional that clause.
Those cars are so cool that I want to drive them.
So plus adjective.
This weather is so beautiful.
With optional that clause.
This weather is so beautiful that we don't want to work today.
Such plus adjective plus noun.
That's such a small clock.
With optional that clause.
That's such a small clock that it's hard to see the time.
Such plus adjective plus noun.
Those are such cool cars.
With optional that clause.
Those are such cool cars that I want to drive them.
Such plus adjective plus noun.
This is such beautiful weather.
With optional that clause.
This is such beautiful weather that we don't want to work today.
Check your understanding. Look at the picture. Complete the first sentence. Now complete the second sentence. Listen to the sentences.
That clock is so small.
That clock is so small that it's hard to see the time.
Those cars are so cool.
Those cars are so cool that I want to drive them.
This weather is so beautiful.
This weather is so beautiful that we don't want to work today.
That's such a small clock.
That's such a small clock that it's hard to see the time.
Those are such cool cars.
Those are such cool cars that I want to drive them.
This is such beautiful weather.
This is such beautiful weather that we don't want to work today.
Let's review. So plus adjective.
That clock is so small.
Those cars are so nice.
Such plus adjective plus noun.
That's such a small clock.
Those are such nice cars.
Optional that clause.
That it's hard to see the time.
That I want to drive them.
All right, now let's look at exercise A. Talk with a partner. Describe the pictures with so and such. Okay, take turns. So if you look at the conversation, you can see that it's talking about the watch in the first picture. So you could say, that watch is so old that no one would use it. So this sentence uses so plus adjective. So old. Old is the adjective. And the second sentence says, that is such an old watch that no one would use it. So you can see it uses such, and old is the adjective, and watch is the noun. And both sentences use that clause. Okay, and if you look at the useful language box on the right, you'll see that in conversation, people often omit the that clause. So for example, if we see this watch and we're just having a conversation with our friends, we might just say, oh, that watch is so old, or whoo, that is such an old watch. But we probably wouldn't include that no one would use it because it's already understood when we say that's such an old watch. It's obvious that no one would want to use it if it's that old. But if you continue in the useful language box, it says formal writing usually includes the that clause. So if you see this statement in writing, then of course you would include the that clause so that the meaning is better understood. Okay, so take some time to make some sentences about the other pictures, and there are so many possibilities. So practice using both so and such, and add a that clause for practice. Okay, so now I'm going to read some sentences that I came up with just to help you out if you need some ideas. So for the second picture, we can see a burger. So we might say, that's such a tall burger that you need a fork and knife to eat it. So in that case, I used such plus adjective plus noun. Such a tall burger. Okay? And then the next picture. That car is so fast, you should drive carefully. So this time I used so plus adjective. So fast. And then I didn't include that this time. I just omitted that. So that is optional. Okay, and then the next picture. That's such a pretty ring that it must have been expensive. So in this case, I actually used a past modal. You learned this in Unit 4, I think. So must have been, should have been, would have been. So those are past modals. So the examples we see in the book are all in present tense, but you can use so and such with other tenses as well. So I said it must have been expensive. Okay, let's look at the next picture. Disposing of old computers is such a big problem that we need to figure out a better solution, or a more environmentally friendly solution. Because you can see that there are so many old devices in this room. Now, if you noticed, instead of saying that room or those computers, I used a noun phrase. I used disposing of old computers. So actually it starts with a gerund, but disposing of old computers is such a big problem that we need to figure out a better solution. Okay, the next picture. There are so many people that I'd rather go somewhere else. Okay? And then the last picture. Those cars are so damaged that it must have been a bad accident. So again, I used a past modal, must have been. So those cars are so damaged that it must have been a bad accident. Or that is such a bad accident that someone must have been injured. That is such a bad accident that someone must have been injured. Okay, so let's look at exercise B. Work in a small group. Describe items in the word box with your own information. Use so and such. So let's take a look at the example conversation. I have such a fast internet connection at home that I can watch videos online easily. You're lucky. My internet connection at home is so slow that I don't use it very often. So with the first sentence, you can see that it uses such plus adjective plus noun. And then the second sentence uses so plus adjective. Okay, so if you look at the second example, your commute to work or school, you could say, my commute to work used to be so long that I had to leave 2 hours earlier. So actually in this case, I use the past tense. So we learned how to use used to, so that's another good way to practice. You can use past tense as well. So my commute to work used to be so long that I had to leave 2 hours earlier. And maybe I could add, but now it only takes 10 minutes to get to work. And then someone might say, wow, that is such a big difference, such a big difference. So you can have a variety of conversations and responses. So go ahead and take some time to practice with someone if possible, but if not, that's okay. Okay, so now we're going to look at our workbook on page 77. Workbook page 77. Okay, exercise 2. Complete the sentences with so or such. So if you look at number 1, ATMs are so convenient that banks don't have to hire as many employees. Okay, so this one uses the so plus adjective form. And then let's take a look at number 2 together. Email is such a convenient way to communicate that people no longer write letters. So this time we use such because we can see the adjective convenient and the noun way. Okay, so go ahead and take some time to complete this exercise and then we will look at it together. Okay, number 3. Computer games are so interesting that many people can't stop playing them. Number 4. Internet news services have become so popular that many print newspapers are going out of business. Number 5. The music I downloaded has such poor sound quality that I don't enjoy listening to it. So we can see that this sentence uses such. So what do you think the noun is? Okay, in this case, the noun is quality. Sound can also be a noun, but in this case, sound becomes an adjective because it is talking about the kind of quality. So poor and sound are both adjectives, and quality is a noun. Okay, number 6. It's now so easy to download movies to your TV that most video stores have closed. Number 7. My new computer has such a large screen that it doesn't fit on my desk. And number 8. Cell phones have become such a serious problem in the classroom that many schools don't allow students to bring them to school. Okay, exercise 3. Put the words in order to make sentences. So you can see a bunch of scrambled phrases and words. So let's put them in the right order. Okay, so number 1. My internet connection is so slow that I can't upload photos. All right, so go ahead and finish this exercise and we will look at it together. Okay, number 2. I have such an old cell phone that I can't send text messages. I have such an old cell phone that I can't send text messages. Number 3. Digital cameras are so easy to use that anyone can be a great photographer. Digital cameras are so easy to use that anyone can be a great photographer. Number 4. Many new TVs are so expensive that most people can't afford to buy them. Many new TVs are so expensive that most people can't afford to buy them. And number 5, that's such a difficult computer program that no one in the office can understand it. That's such a difficult computer program that no one in the office can understand it.